Welcome to part two. We're just waiting for Terry to join us. Hope everybody's all right. Got a new channel out in next week or so. I've just been filming yesterday with an ex-professional footballer. He's going to be on every week, or every couple of weeks. Well, it's all good stuff. All good positive stuff. It's not my baby though, this one. It's theirs, Kevin's. So, I just did the interview. I'll just keep my head down now. Stay out of the way. So we're just waiting for Terry now to jump on. Should be going for a swim in a bit. I'll have to get better at swimming, I think. I've got a goal, should I say. Oh, God. We'll see. But Terry, you can always tell Terry's educated, can't you? Very well spoken, aren't you, Terry?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I just say very well spoken, Terry.
Hey, listen, there's no shame in putting words together well. A lot of people think, and this is one of the things that annoys me about England, it's obviously this idea that if you've come from struggle, somehow you have to sound like you've got fucking gravel in your mouth, or you got to sound like you banged your head against the wall for 23 years. You don't, man. You sound how you want to sound. Let's stop judging people on how they speak. Because, I hear people talk about this like, he must have come from money. I'm like, give me the money, and then I'll come from money. Do you know what I mean?
You went to university, don't you, Terry?
But doesn't everyone?
No, not really. I didn't even finish school, mate. But I don't talk like John Fury. Pop, pop, bang, with gravelly voice.
Well, mate,
how you on about?
You do half the time, mate. Half your voice notes are pop, pop, bang. Yeah.
Well, you know what it is, right? I had a friend who's just passed away called Eric Taylor, and he used to talk like that. And I started pinching it off him. And obviously, when I was a young man, I went to live with him when I was a teenager because I was a bit wild, and he kind of like straightened me out. But yeah, he used to, and I used to do, obviously, I was big into impressions back then, and I used to take him off all the time. Those local sort of like villains in area and pub landlords. I always used to take them off. So I was big on impressions and how John Fury speaks. He's from that era and from Eric's era, and they sort of speak the that gravelly thing. David A does it sometimes though. I've been in his company when he's done it, but he's a bit of a piss taker, David A. But yeah, I see where you're coming from with that. People feel that if they've had a tough upbringing, they have to talk outside of the mouth. But you speak very elegantly. And you go private school, did you, in Zimbabwe now?
No, just a good school. But
good school, yeah.
But look, you can take my great granddad, right? My great granddad finished school at 10, but he used to put words together. Well, like that, it's a family thing. Like in African culture, it's not cool to be stupid. Yeah. It's just not cool. Even the kids that could fight, like they were smart. Like they could put words together. It was so cool to be stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Right, getting back to what we were talking about then. Go on.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about the Garcia.
Yeah, mate. World's his oyster.
Derek James's performance and the referee's performance. I thought the referee tried to even it up when he took that point of him. Did you? Really? You could see what were going on, couldn't you? All the way through the fight. He were on Garcia all night, wasn't
he? Yeah, but Haney was doing all the holding. Jab, hold. Yeah. The ref did nothing about that. Mate, the odds were stacked against Garcia, but he showed, listen, nothing matters more in boxing than power. If you've got power, you can just dig yourself out of the biggest hole.
Yeah. The referee though were in Eddie's pocket and won at judges, so they had a good go. But there were no way if they'd have given that fight to Haney, there would have been riots, wouldn't there? Really? Come on, in the streets. Come on, we know there was no way that would have drawn. Was it a mandatory decision on that, Terry? Where are we heading here with this? Why is that judge now not hold before the New York State Athletic Commission and put in front of them and said, "Show me how you got that a draw. Show me." It's beyond me now.
Yeah, thought it was a comfortable Garcia win. I find it hard to believe you can get dropped 3 times, get hurt in another round, and win a fight. Yes, it would disrespect the sport. The sport's about hurting people, and Garcia did that. Haney didn't. I get annoyed when people talk about boxing master classes and this, that, and the other. If you don't hurt the other guy, it's the win's hollow to me.
Well, okay then. Moving on. Izzy's show and Ash next door at Magna. I went. Thank you very much for the VIP. They have all red carpet and everything going into like a restaurant. They're all a bit jazzed up. You know, I was impressed. Huey won on points. I was sat with Clinton and Gary from Welcome Estates. Gary, thank you very much for that money. We've shifted a villa off, even though I don't do that with them now. They shifted a villa and he ended up looking after me. So at least he's stand on, isn't he? So that's good, isn't it?
No, respect to him for doing that.
Yeah, I've not done that with him since July, and he said, "I've got some money for you." We're like, "Thank you." So there you go. And all them that if they mention my name, because they did a lot of them, they have to go with code, don't they, or something off my channel from when I was doing all them. I think I overkilled it, didn't I? Do you remember? Oh, I do. I overkill it, don't I? But he remembered. So that was nice, Gary. I think they're doing really well now. So he's put enough time in with boxing, hasn't he, and investors, so he's getting it back now. So good luck to him. But I was sat with him and Clinton, Woods, and Ash, and a few people. There's 2 ways we can look at this, right? There's 2 ways we can look at it. Obviously, Peter's my friend, Huey's a pal, but there's 2 ways we can look at it. Huey needed rounds. He's been out over 2 years, right? He needed rounds. But the rounds that he got, you can get them in sparring. Does he need them under lights? You could say, yeah. Can we give him a pass because he's been out 2.5 years? Maybe, yeah. But I want to see Huey stopping guys like that. But he looks to me like he's way off the pace. And I think his dad said that in an interview. So he's got a big rebuilding job, hasn't he? Because his tools are not sharp. Do you agree? Did I word that right, Terry?
Never been a knockout guy, though. So why would we expect him to be a knockout guy?
Pardon?
He's never been a knockout guy.
Yeah,
so why would we expect him to be a knockout guy now?
I understand that now, but looking at the guy's record, you would want a knockout, wouldn't you? If you were layman terms, the man in the street that was sat there were like, he should be knocking him out. Look, he needs rounds, he's inactive, his tools are not sharp.
Yeah.
So I can see where they're coming from, and the guy's not been stopped. So yeah, got the good rounds in, but he's way off the pace, isn't he? He's way off the pace.
Listen, sparring rounds are not fight rounds.
Yeah.
Sparring rounds are nowhere near fight rounds because you're not getting hit in 10-ounce gloves.
Yeah.
And that's a game changer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so he needed that. Huey will always be Huey. Like, the guy's boxed from when he was a kid. So he's not going to lose his skills.
Yeah.
He's still in kind of a good age where he shouldn't lose too much athleticism, but he's been out the ring a long time. It will take him at least 6 months to a year to sharpen up. And that means that Peter's got to get him out next month and the month after, the month after. You've just got to keep finding shows and say, look, I'll put Huey on here, I'll put Huey on there.
Max has sent me a text. Me mole at Dennis says, Dave Allen's going to fight Johnny Bosch. Next, that's what they're saying, or he's in line to fight him. So, what do you think to that for a fight?
It's just.
Dennis is cashing Dave Allen out, isn't he?
Well, Dave's cashing himself out. I think Dave realizes that these are the fights he has to go through. He said he wants one more crack at the British title. I'm like, okay. So he should really beat a Johnny Fisher. If
he can't beat Johnny Fisher, there's a problem. If Johnny Fisher can't beat Dave at the moment, he's got a problem. So it's a crossroads fight for both, really, isn't it? I think.
Johnny can come back, though. The thing is, Johnny's young. He can come back.
Yeah. Can Dave come back if he loses?
He'll just drop down a level.
Oh, until he's ended up fighting Tom Little.
Yeah. Or Misfits. He'll jump on the Misfits or something.
Saw Mr. Bean there at that show.
Yeah.
You know I can't help myself, don't you? You know I can't help myself, don't you?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, did you actually sit next to him and go, how you doing, Bean?
No, I didn't. I said, we're at Body's buried, Rumpelstiltskin. went down like a lead balloon. Plus, they sat me in front of Dave Colwell and this birdie away. He were punching way above his weight. But
Isn't he married?
who sat behind me, Dave Colwell? Ash came on.
Oh, isn't he married, Russ?
I don't know. We're a nice bird. If it's his wife, he's done well. But obviously, he's not my pal, is he? But I've behaved myself. I had two doormen sat straight opposite me all night. But you sat behind me at VIP. I thought, yeah, we're all right here. But I promised I'd be on my best behaving. I will. I won't have my head all out. You could smell the cocaine in there, though, mate. Unbelievable. You know, being an ex-user.
Yeah.
I like Hannibal Lecter. Like that. And I had a guy behind me, and he's like, they kept going like that. In end, I just got my fingers. I went, look, it's dribbling down your nose. I think that was my cue to go home then. Just,
Yeah.
obviously, it were winding me up, people off their heads. So I'm like, you know, I'm going to drive home, and I'm fed up of getting pulled and swabbed now. It's getting regular. So maybe it's a good thing that I'm sober, eh? Because if
Hey,
not,
discipline.
10-year ban for me in it third time now. I can't afford to risk it, so sacked everything. I've become a bit of a recluse and boring, I think, lately, especially this last month. I don't know what's happened to me. Probably losing
Yeah.
it, but I don't know. Just train more, eat less, and just stop with alcohol. Might have a glass of wine with me dinner, but I'm not even bothered about that now.
Yeah. See, you've dedicated yourself to the life. You're living the life now, Russ.
Well, living the life now because we've got a lot on here. I've got too much on, and I can't. I don't cope good with pressure. Me, I cope with it for so long, and then whoosh, all bets are off, and it's a bit of a nightmare. So no, I don't. But I'm all right. It's just I know there were going to be cocaine. You know, people are shoving it in your face. Oh, what's the matter with you? Have you lost plot? I'm like, lost plot. I've done more cocaine than all of them that were in the old building. You know that. You've seen me put my head in cereal bowls full of it in hotels, haven't you? But them days are gone now. And me going home and looking out that window all night, I feel a lot better in myself. Spend
Mate.
600 quid a night on that shit.
It's about longevity. You're just making other people rich by doing it.
Oh no, just taking it out my own supply.
There you see.
You know, when I was bang at it, it used to be end of the month, I'd be like, well, I've broke even here. How's that? Because it's all going down my neck. You remember that film, don't you? Frank Lopez, when he turns around to Michelle Pfeiffer and he says, yeah, I keep saying, don't get on, supply. And he turns around and he goes, well, not everybody follows the rules. Well, I were that guy. You know what I mean? Whereas my mates are all driving around in Maseratis. No, I were that guy. Well, why did it all go wrong for me? They shouldn't have
Mate,
took it. But we live
discipline's a virtue. I'll tell you this now. Discipline's a
now,
virtue.
I'm disciplined now. I think that's a good thing. I don't miss it. I certainly don't miss it. And my bank balance is a lot better. I spoke with Joe Gallagher in that documentary about Terry Harper and Natasha Jonas. You were right. It's on the documentary. There's no. We spoke about Simon Jordan mentioning Porky's Corner as well. So thanks to Joe for pulling him up on it. Simon Jordan thinks he's Porky's Corner. He's a posher Porky's Corner, isn't he? But the point I want to make is it looks like there's no Terry Harper, Natasha Jonas. It could be Katie Taylor, Natasha Jonas, for Natasha's farewell. Where does that leave Terry Harper? Because she's no belt now and she hasn't really got a dance partner, has she? Kind of feel for her in a way, do you?
Yeah, Harper strikes as being quite a simple young woman, right? Just really simple, and she's been manipulated by the game. She's been used as a pawn in a bigger game here. Like, I think Steffi's ego and Eddie's ego got the better of them, and they were determined to make this Jonas fight, and they didn't realize that Joe was determined to never make that Harper fight. I never believed for a second that Joe would ever sanction that fight. Like, if they'd offered Tasha like 3 million quid, he might have gone, yeah, all right, because he knows it would have hurt them.
Yeah.
But that's probably the only scenario. And credit to Natasha Jonas for standing by Joe and going, no, if Joe doesn't think it's a good fight, I'm not doing it. Fair play to her.
Hey, listen, they rolled the dice on other fights and when it were less money and still kept going, aren't they? So they're in a really good position now, aren't they? Well, obviously Joe is because he's Turkey Al Sheikh's right and man, isn't he out there? They're flying him over left, right, and centre, aren't they? Back there for 2 days and then having to go back again. And so he's in the mix out there, isn't he?
Yeah, fair play to him, and that's what happens when you stay consistent.
What about hands the phone to Ben Davidson? Can they do anything with him, or is he a lame duck?
So let's look at a case study that's probably the closest to it. Chris Congo, right?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between pre-Davidson, Congo, and Congo now? Chris works a bit more, moves a bit more, doesn't keep his feet in the same place. And they're all good things, by the way. I think they're good things for Chris Congo. But Chris is still the same boxer, pretty much. He's just doing more of the right things. So they could do that with Campbell Hatton. There's a certain point he can get to, but like you should have been wiping out people who've got that central area title. Like if you really aspire to be somebody in the sport, like these should be easy fights for you. And the fact that that wasn't an easy fight,
yeah,
the writing's on the wall.
Do you think, Terry, that with you being a trainer, do you think that they can add anything to him, or do you think that Ben Davidson,
unless they get him doping, there's not much they can add to him?
Do you think Ben Davidson's a safety first trainer?
Yeah, because we don't know his vision.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, if someone says to me, mate, how should your fighters box? I tell them, very simple terms, right? I'll go, right, my fighters are mindset is relentless. We're combination punches. Yeah, that's what we are. We're combination punches, and we do it at a high pace. Now, it will look different depending on who I've got, but you'll always know when I've trained someone, because even if you do win that fight, it will feel like a defeat. And that's how I believe boxing should be seen. But that's just my own individual view. We don't know what Ben's is. Right? We just know that we do all this video analysis and we work on what people's strengths and weaknesses are. I could never train a guy based on what his opponent's going to do. And the reason I say that is, and maybe I'm a bit like Guardiola and Klopp in this sense, I believe in my own philosophy so much that I'm your problem, you're not my problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? Very, very strange. Campbell Hatton going there, I think so. I mean, it's a bit of a kick in nuts for old Matthew, isn't it? Do you think?
No,
No, do you
no.
think?
He's had years to prove himself to Campbell, and if Matthew's own brother is signing off on this move, then there you go. They clearly know something we don't.
Yeah. The amateur scene, Terry. Who's the biggest star now? Who we got? Who's going to ready for turning over? Where's the next big noise?
Probably just Porky Russ.
Yeah.
Porky Russ on Misfits might be the biggest thing we see.
What, me on Misfits? Well, if we could get somebody my weight to fight me, I'm up for it.
What weight's Dave Caldwell?
He's probably my weight, and he might be a touch heavier than me. He might be about 12 and a half or something. If he gets down to 11, I get stuck into him. He won't bother me.
There you go. That's the one for Misfits. Let me think. Who's really pulling up between the amateurs? Honest answer. If you look at who won the ABAs over the weekend, answer is nobody. If we look broader at like what's happening in Team GB, there's this kid Leo Atang who boxes up in York. Yeah, he's got that kind of real deal feel to him. He's probably the one I'm most excited about. There's him. There's the kid Adam Macker who used to box for Rumbles down in Sittingbourne. He's looking really good as well. It's a shame we're not pushing Leo for the Olympics. I'd quite like to have seen him try and qualify for the Olympics, but he's only a kid. He's only like 19 or something. He's young. Who else? Off the top of my head, who's really flying? That's it, really, man. The cupboard's bare, Russ.
Yeah, I've had a couple of emails, people asking me, when you get Terry on again, can you ask him his top 5 pound for pound, because you never ask him. And it's right, I never really ask you that. because I know your opinion on pound for pound, but I'm going to ask you today, what's your top 5?
Oh man, Crawford at number 1, and yes, I know he's been inactive since he beat Spence, but the guy's undisputed in 2 weight classes. Like, that's the definition of pound for pound for me. Like, you've moved up the weights and you've dominated. 135, 140, 147, you've dominated, and you're about to cause havoc at 154. So I'm going to put him up there. Who we're going to have in there as well? God, this thing changes so often that I have no idea. I'm going to put Tank at number 2.
Tank, yeah, because he's done Garcia.
I just think he's just on a different level to all of these. And like, remember, he's a small guy. If Tank was more disciplined, he'd be boxing at featherweight. So just to see him up at lightweight causing havoc, even at 140 causing havoc, fair play to him. So Tank, I'm going to put there. I'm going to put Beterbiev at 3.
Yeah.
I know this is going to make your audience sick that I'm naming white fighters in my top 5. They're going to hate this. They're like, I thought he was a racist. I thought, Terry X.
Terry, you'll Malcolm X's brother. You'll send them into meltdown social media if you put no black men in top 5. I know you've got Crawford. He's a black man, isn't he?
Hey, Crawford Davis are in there. Beterbiev I want to put in there as well.
I know you.
So we've got 3 now. Let me just scan through the weight classes. I want to put Usyk in there.
So you're going Crawford,
Davis,
Tank. Yeah, sorry, Tank.
Yeah. Beterbiev.
He's got
Usyk.
He's 20-0. He's put everybody on, but Monet knocked them all out. Yeah.
Yeah.
4. Yeah, go on. Who are you going for 5? I know you.
Jamel Charlo.
Charlo above know you. Oh, Terry, no way, man. No way. I'm not having that, man. Charlo.
Wait. No. Wait. No. Let me outline my logic. Yeah. His journey to undisputed was the hardest one. He was undisputed at 154 when 154 was the division to be in. And he's got that mix of defeats that have been avenged, draws, etc. He's there. So he has to be in there. And I know people say you haven't got Inoue in there, but you all know my views on small people. No disrespect, guys, but you know my views on small fighters. I'm like, nah. But I love Inoue, by the way. He'd have been next on that list, but nah. Hey, hold on. No, your comment section, you got a choice. Do you want Usyk in the top 5 or Inoue in the top 5? It can only be one of those 2.
Well, it'd have to be Usyk, wouldn't it, really, for me? Like, because I've got the Usyk sweater on or somewhere in here.
Yeah, you see.
I think so. Oh, I did have. I don't know. I've got to do some filming. Here we go.
Yeah.
Team Usyk.
There you go.
There you go. We're Team Usyk.
But no, I'd say that I don't think Jamel Charlo gets the respect he deserves for basically being undisputed in that division when it was just a lot of angry monsters in there.
Yeah. I think Anoyu's got to be in there because the guy just puts people out, doesn't he? Taking guys out. People want to see that, don't they? Beat it, Beterbiev, guys out. They're taking heads off. Fans want that entertainment, don't they? None of them have failed the dope test. You've got none of them shouting and bawling on social media. They just go about the business quietly. All them guys, don't they? Apart from maybe Tank, he's a bit loud in his area, and a bit of a wild man. But I just think that them are the cream of the crop, in my opinion.
Yeah, they can all really box, and I like people who can really box.
Yeah. Where do you see women's boxing going now? Because do you think that there's a little bit of shine gone off it lately since all this Saudi talk? It doesn't seem as on everybody's lips like it used to be, does it? Do you think something could be going on with Saudis, whereas they're not big on it?
But why would they be? It's not Saudi Arabia's job to build up British boxing on the women's side. It's not, right? They want ready-made products that they can just wheel out and go, right, we can do a show with this lot. I don't know if you can do that with what we have in the stable right now. I just don't think you can. And I think it had always been a cheap way to fulfill contractual obligations around world titles, etc., etc. And that's what it's been used for. It's been used in a very cynical way to fulfill contractual obligations when you know your stable's actually dying and you're struggling to make world title fights in the men's division. So you just wheel out the ladies to do it. And I think it's unbelievably cynical. And I feel we're using women without ever really trying to build up the sport. Let's start by giving them some decent purses for a change. Yeah? Just start paying them what they deserve for what they go through. And then let's go from there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Flex, Dominic Ingle. What do you think is going to happen with him now? Because it looks to me like not training many people. Do you think that gym's going to fold?
No, he's got Brad Goldsmith. I think Brad Goldsmith's pretty good.
It's not that gym like it has been in recent times, though, is it really?
But it's a different world now, right? Like SBC's come online, Steel City's doing their thing. You got Kings, Chris Medley's. Like, it's not like the old days where it was just Brendan Ingle and Howard Rainey up north.
Clinton,
in the old days.
Clinton's old trainer.
Well, everyone's old trainer. Like Howard Rainey was known down here as well. He was mates with a guy from the lodge, Roy Connor. Like he was here before he was up there. But people don't talk about Howard Rainey enough. That guy was talking about stuff we take for granted today in the 80s.
Yeah. Do you think that boxing's changed and that maybe Dominic's an old spit and sawdust trainer from a different era to this new Ben Davidson era? Do you think? It's out with the old in with the new kind of thing?
I think perception's a lot of things. I don't think it's an accident that he's now doing more stuff with Boxing King Media because he understands it's a PR game now. If you want people to come to your gym, it's a PR game. But Dom's done enough that he can pick and choose his projects. He doesn't. I don't think he needs the money.
Why does he never get any Olympians up there? Why has Joe Gallagher only had 2 Olympians, Lawrence Okoli and Joe Murray? Where are these? Why do these Joe Gallaghers, Dominic Ingles? They never seem to get a look in, do they, with that EIS lot, do they?
Well, why? Do you want them? That's the question I'd ask.
Do I what? Sorry.
Do you want them as a pro trainer? Do you really want them? Probably not.
Oh, I mean, well, McCracken ended up with Anthony Joshua, didn't he? But
how did that work out for him?
Well, it didn't work out so good, did it, for him? Because as soon as he got in with somebody who could fight, he got to school, didn't he?
Yeah. So you're not getting that. We used to put the Olympians on a pedestal.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to do that anymore. So if the Olympians want to go with whatever trainer, I think what you'll see very quickly is what they were doing up in Sheffield was a waste of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I just think that it didn't really get shared out, that them Olympians. They're more or less told where they're going to go to, who's going to train them by promoters, aren't they? Or they're advised, aren't they? Kind of thing.
Everyone is.
Yeah.
Everyone is. Why? Because if I'm a promoter, Russ, I'd rather deal with 4 trainers than 40.
Yeah.
Because we can plan long term.
Do you think that too many trainers are pandering to what Eduardo wants?
They don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Because they're not risking their money, are they?
No, well, that's it, you see. Well, Eddie's not risking his, is he, really? It's DAZN's, isn't it? Do you see that?
Well, some of it is. But some of it, if a show does tank, Hearn will swallow that.
Yeah. Yeah. I see where you're coming from. Who's the biggest star out of these two? Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua? And who wins, Usyk or Fury?
Anthony Joshua's the biggest star. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. You know, it's not even close. 80% of Fury's attention comes from Stig.
Yeah. Does it?
Who wins, Fury versus Usyk? I think Fury wins.
You think, yeah?
Yeah.
You
And
think,
if he doesn't, I just say he beat a small man.
yeah. Fury beat. Oh, no, you nicking my lines, Terry. You know that's my exclusive for Fury Usyk. But this is how I look at it, right? Usyk's not a small man, 6'3", 16 stone. I think that's just right for a slick southpaw to cause him nightmares. That's what I think. And I always go on the last performance. I mean, look, I saw Paul Smith doing an interview, and he said he's not so sure that Fury beats Usyk now. But if Fury does beat him, he can say, "Well, I'm not so sure, but you know, he did. He did. I never said that he'd lose." Well, I'm saying Usyk does him because he's seen every style, and I stand by that. People don't
So
like
is Fury.
stuff, eh?
So is Fury.
Yeah, I suppose Fury's seen every style, but when I've seen Fury in with southpaws, he never really looks that comfortable. He never
He'll
really.
just go southpaw.
You
He'll
think?
take the advantage away by just going southpaw. And all of a sudden, it's now hell for Usyk because now Usyk's like, oh my God, how am I going to get past this reach now? Fury could literally go southpaw and keep Usyk at bay with the jab for 12 rounds and win.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see. What you got lined up for the rest of the week, Terry?
As you guys say up north, fucking grafting, man. I'm on tools. I'm on graft, man. I'm on graft.
I think I'm going up to Chris's this afternoon. I'll send him a message. I'll send it after the video. He come out with filming them. And they've still got the old big Porky's Corner banner all the way across Gym, bless them. Massive,
No.
massive thing. It was a fortune. So that's
Where's
nice.
Perry Howe?
Perry Howe, I'm not sure. Perry Howe, if you don't win in a central area and you've retired, you need to jump in River Don because we had a bet. Perry Howe. Bin man, Perry Howe. No, he drives bin man wagon, doesn't he? So he's not technically a bin man, is he? The ex-army, though. So, ex-army. Ended up driving a dustbin cart. So
This country's cruel.
get in that River Don, Perry Howe. If you not win a
You know what?
area, get in that
You
River
know what?
Don.
I'll say this though, right? See, in this country, you get most of these weirdos, and they tell you about all these immigrants coming in, and they're the problem. And I always say, immigrants are not the problem in this country. We get people who join our armed forces, Russ, and when their time is up, they get a handshake and a good luck. Yeah. We basically trained tens of thousands of people to kill. Yeah. And then we've sent them into battle where they've spent, days and weeks at a time, wondering if that's their last day on earth. And then when it's done, we just go, well done, mate. Good luck in your future endeavors. And we don't spend any money trying to resettle these guys. We don't spend any money trying to give them new skills. We don't spend any money trying to help them cope emotionally. Yeah, we don't do anything like that. In this country, we don't give poor kids free school meals. In this country, we don't help kids learn to read. We don't teach kids how to code. We don't teach kids how to do anything, right? We've never taken the white working classes who were built around primary industries, mining, agriculture, manufacturing, all this stuff. We've never retrained them and said, look, we're moving into this technical era. Here are all of these free courses for you guys to learn how to do all this cool stuff so you can feed your families. We've never done that, right? But we're here complaining about immigrants and stuff. This is what we should be complaining about. Why are we sending all that money to all these other countries for wars we don't care about? When the truth is, we should be spending that money right here fixing our society. And if we did that, we'd stop complaining about damn immigrants and political correctness, because that ain't the problem. The problem is we've got a ton of money in this country that goes to all the wrong people, and the people who need it end up suffering, and it annoys me. Because as you say, Russ, you're from a mining village, right? We're not going to dig anything out the ground in this country in our lifetime. I'm telling you this now, it's too expensive. Why not teach all those young men, look, here's how you build some cloud infrastructure so someone can do some machine learning and some artificial intelligence. We're going to teach you how to do that. Why? Because these jobs can pay you up to 130 grand a year. You ain't got to sell nothing anymore. You can learn how to do this. It'll take you 6 months to a year to learn how to do it. Go out and do it. We don't do that.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like all this other talk about stuff that's wrong with this country, that's what's wrong with this country.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with you. but that's for another talk. Maybe I should do a video on my new channel, Terry.
Yeah, why not, man? You know, Porky's corner, Porky's politics.
Porky's Corner Extra, it's called YouTube. They're setting it all up today. I've done the footage yesterday. Raining as out, 2 cameras on me.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna what's the extra going to be about though?
Well, it's we're doing that football thing with Glyn Snowden. I've done that yesterday, and they're going to put it into so many parts, and there's going to be a regular on here. And there's other footballers who Glyn's played with who are going to be coming on. Billy Whitehurst, I think. You know the Billy Whitehurst story, don't you, about Vinnie Jones when he was at Sheffield United, and Vinnie were walking around saying, "I'm on 1,500 quid a week. I'm top man here." And Billy were on about 500 quid a week, and Billy's thinking, 1,500, 500. Thinks he's an hard man. I know I'm an hard man. Vinny, can I just have keys to your Audi Quattro? Because it's in way of my car. Yeah, Billy. Billy got in the Audi Quattro, took it out Manor, smashed it into every general, scraped all doors, and that went back to the training ground, parked it up. So yeah, Vinny, here's your keys. Vinny come out of the dressing room, went, didn't do a thing. That's how you get put in your place by a South Yorkshireman. That's a true story. So there'll be stuff like that coming out on the channel. Bit of banter. Few stories about Billy Bremner and that. Obviously, he's from around here. And Glyn worked with him at Leeds and Donny. And hopefully, Ian will be coming on, won't you, Ian? Tony Bellew's friend. Come on, Ian. Don't be putting the Tony Bellew. We've got your own billboard. You're still at Everton, aren't you? Everton ambassador. You're welcome, Glyn. Grow a pair. So that's about it, really. I'm going to have to get off because I'm going to train now and I've got goods on. But listen, thanks for coming on, Terry. Nice to catch up with you. I'm going to catch up with you, Terry's take from Sunday because I ain't heard that one yet. It's about Garcia and that, isn't it?
Yeah, so half of what I've said on here.
I'll see if I can sneak some material off you, Terry, like I always do.
All right, mate.
Take care, brother. God bless.
Take care, mate. Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was Terry Chappendama, a banker from London. Women love him, men want to be him. I went to see Terry actually in Leeds. You were at this big seminar thing for all these bankers, and I was very impressed with his performance, speaking and public speaking and stuff like that. He's a very, very bright kid, very, very bright. He can fight like as well. It'd be an hard night for Porky. So, right, or a long night, should I say. Right, I'm going to train. I'm going to get my camera. I'm off up to King's Boxing Gym, all being well. See Nicky Smedley. That's about it. So I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I think there must be 10 or 15 videos. All need to be going out in the next few days or something. It's just backlog of them. I need to get back on top. I've lost my way this last month. So, all right. You take care. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Max, talking about me, that Derby's no good, mate. No good. All right, get rid of that belly if you're going to get in that ring. All right. Well, peace out.